Okay guys, in this video I will be demonstrating to you how to install uh, VirtualBox on your Windows 10 computers. First of all, you need to download the VirtualBox software. So I'm going to open up my browser and just type in VirtualBox on the bar. This will give us a search output, and the first one usually is going to be from Oracle. This is the one that we are going to download, so click on downloads link. So here we have several options what we are going to download. Since we are gonna install this on our Windows 10, the Windows 10 OS is going to be the host computer, so we're going to download Windows host. If you are using a Linux distribution on your laptop, you can click on this Linux distributions instead. But for this example, we'll be using, since this is a Windows 10, we'll be using the Windows host for downloading, and it's going to download an exe file. This is the executable installer to install VirtualBox into your machine. Since this is going to take 3 minutes, let me pause up this video and I'll be back once the download is done. We're now halfway down our download, and just want to tell you, while you're doing this downloading thing, I also suggest that you also download an ISO file of an operating system that you want to try to run within VirtualBox inside of your Windows operating system. In my case, I already downloaded uh, a Linux distribution, specifically the Kali Linux distribution. I have it on my flash drive already. If you want, you might want to download something smaller. Maybe um, damn small Linux can be, you can do the trick, or any other Linux distribution that is small. You can even download something that is already only around 200 megabytes for 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 your purposes, so that it won't take up a lot of your data. Okay, so our download is almost done, and it's actually done already. So we open this file up to run our VirtualBox installer. Okay, all right. Click on next, and then yeah, just next. It's going to create a shortcut on the start menu, shortcut on the desktop, and file associations. Click on next and hit yes and install. So now it's going to install VirtualBox into your operating system. What VirtualBox allows you to do is it allows you to run another operating system within the host operating system. So basically, it's going to create a virtual computer inside of your computer, so that you can try out other operating systems while you're using Windows for this example. Just click on install. Okay, so it's done. While this checkbox is being checked, it says start VirtualBox after installation. Let's do that so that it will open up VirtualBox right after this installation process. Okay, so this is VirtualBox, guys, and to just demonstrate to you what it's gonna do, I'm going to run a Kali Linux inside of Windows here, just by running it uh, as a live operating system. So I'm gonna click on new, and we'll call this Linux Live. Okay, and it's a Linux. It's going to be other Linux or the, so there are plenty of Linux operating systems that it can support. What we're going to use is other Linux 64-bit. Let me check if it's actually 64-bit. So here's my flash drive, and it's this guy, Kali Linux. It's actually 64-bit. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. Click on next, and we'll decide how much memory size we will give our guest operating system. So I'm gonna put here 1024, that is 1 gig, or you can also have 2048 for 2 gig, depending on the capacity of your computer. You just adjust the memory size. I'll stick with 2 gig because this computer has 8 gigs in it. So next. And then at this point, you are supposed to create a virtual disk. So a virtual disk will act like you have a hard drive on your virtual computer. But since I'm going to run this example, this demonstration, I'm going to run this with just as a live CD. So we are not going to need any hard drives for this. So I'm not gonna add a virtual hard disk and create. Yeah. So now I have this virtual computer. See, what you can imagine with this is that this Linux Live is a computer inside of your computer, and it has some properties in it, like it has a system. It means that this computer has 2 gigs of memory, and well, let's see what else you can have in here. And it has our system has a base memory of 2 gigabytes, and it uses this kind of chipset, and it has this processor. We have one processor, and let's see, acceleration. Besides that, we can also have our storage, which you don't have hard drive, but we do have a CD drive in here. So in the CD drive, I'm gonna put inside of this our downloaded Kali Linux ISO file. The ISO file is just a file representing a DVD. So I'm gonna click here and choose a disk file, and the ones I'm going to use is coming from my flash drive, which is this guy, Kali Linux. Alright, and I check this live. This is a live CD or DVD. Okay, click on OK and try to start this computer by clicking on the start. Okay, so this is now the screen of your virtual computer. This will now act as your second monitor. So as you can see, this is running as a Kali Linux installer. So I'm gonna select live so that it will start Kali Linux without installation. So this is now actually another operating system running inside of Windows using VirtualBox. By the way, you can close this one out. This is now our virtual machine, and it's loading, reading from the ISO file, which it thinks as the DVD that it's loading from. And you can also see some interactions here. See, this indicates that it's reading on the DVD. And in a moment, it's going to display the desktop of Kali Linux. Okay, so here we go. This is now the desktop of Kali Linux running inside of Windows 10. As you can see, we can click here, and this displays the menu. See, there's the menu, and you can open up a terminal, and it's running as a terminal here. You can close up, and let's see if you can do ping on Google. 8.8.8.8 and enter as yes. This means we have internet connectivity inside of our guest operating system. So just to demonstrate that one up, let's open up a web browser inside of this machine, and it's going to be a little slower here because we're just using a one core processor for this virtual machine that we have, although we gave it 2 gigs of memory, but it's just running in one core. So see, we have here a browser, and we can open up, for example, YouTube. So this is really a separate operating system, and you can say uname dash a, and it says it is a Linux, Kali Linux 5.7, AMD 64, using Debian distribution. Okay, and as you can see, YouTube works. So that's it, guys. In our session, I will be demonstrating also live to you how to install virtual machine or VirtualBox on a Linux, on an Ubuntu Linux operating system, so that we can also try and run Windows 10 inside of Linux. So thank you so much for watching. And see you again next time.